Are we in a seller's market or a buyer's market? Is the market going to cool down in the summer ever? Or, I mean, is it even hot? Well, that all kind of depends. We're going to cover all that in this episode. Welcome to Inside Abode. How y'all doing? It's been a minute, man. I'm not even going to lie. I'm a little rusty on the podcast front because it's been so busy. Last week we had a podcast with Katie Jones, one of our agents, talking about Pride, and we did the Pride event last weekend. So the Tacoma Pride is held in July, and if you want to know why, you can go listen to that episode. But it was really dope. Shout out to Aaron and Scott Farquhar for holding down the tent, and we had some dope frisbees. We had frisbee making and sparkles and all kinds of stuff. It was really fun. And then we had some other agents show up and we worked the event and had a booth there, and man, it was held at Wright Park, and man, it's such a vibe. If you've never been to Pride in Tacoma, like, you really need to try to get down there because it's really fun. Like, I don't understand, like, it's just people having a good time. Me and the dude next in the vendor next to us, I was talking to him, and he was just like, man, if you don't like just people having a good time and being fun and free and carefree, like, what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, yeah, I agree. So all different kinds of people, all different types of walks of life. It was just really fun. So shout out to the the people who organized it. I feel like this was the most people that have been there in a while. So anyway, July is Pride Month. I just want to remind people it is Pride Month in Tacoma. So we still are. It is July what? Today is July 17th, I think. Yeah, July 17th. So what else we can talk about? What else we have going on? It's busy at Abode. We just had the Realize Tacoma students come through. So shout out to that program and the people putting on Megan Clark. Shout out to people. God, we're going to have to cut that out, AI. So shout out to that program and Ms. Matherin, who's putting it on, and Megan Clark helping out, and all the other people that are involved with the Realize Tacoma program. That is super dope. It's basically a bunch of students that go around from Tacoma schools and Annie Wright and other schools, all the local high schools, and they go around and just talk to business people, talk to people in the industry, and they give them exposure to different things happening in Tacoma, and they get to ask questions. These are smart kids, y'all. Like, it's always so fun hosting. So we had the Realize Tacoma students come through recently. It's been busy in Q2. Like, yeah, just a lot going on. Agents transacting and whatnot, but we haven't talked about the market recently. So before we do that, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And if you're watching this on YouTube, hit the little follow button as well if you're on there. So hit that up. Why not? Like, we're going to talk about some market stuff right here real quick. So if you are a buyer or seller, this might be something you want to listen to. But let's get right into it. I'm not going to hold you too long. So I want to take a look at the county at large. So let's look at Pierce County at large. Pierce County at large. Let's just take a look at the overview. And if you're watching this on the screen, on a screen, then you'll be able to see like what I'm pointing at as far as the area. So right now, overall, we're like at a balanced market. I know it might feel a certain way for, people, but that's just what the numbers say. So I'm just going over the numbers. So Pierce County is balanced or level. Its chance of selling is at 45% if you're on the sell side with about 3.3 months of supply. And the median sold price is $551,000 over the last 6 months. So that's just a quick little overview. But let's go like kind of a little bit deeper into, the areas. I'm going to start with days on market, because I think if you're a seller right now, like there is inventory sitting, like it is a market that's more balanced. We have been used to in this decade. It started out with this crazy market with 2% rates. Like that is just not, I feel like we're still thawing out from that thought process and framing, because things are going to take 30 to 45 days to sell. Like you're going to have your house on the market. Some of them, not all of them. I mean, there are some that go quickly, night of, day of, like, so it just depends on the location, depends on, like just all different types of factors, the presentation. So let's take a look at the interactive heat map, though. I'm a visual person, y'all know that. So I'm going to look at the heat map, and we're just going to look at the days on market. And so the darker is faster and the lighter is slower. So let's just hover over some different areas here. You can see, I'm going to start outside here. Key Peninsula, 52 days. And these are median days on market. Okay, Harbor Fox Island is 42. And North Tacoma is 24 median days on market. And Central Tacoma is 19 median days on market. And that seems to be the hottest. So that's the hottest one. It's the darkest bubble on the map. So Central Tacoma, good job. You won. You won the days on market competition. UP, 23 days. Lakewood, DuPont, Stillicum area, 34 days. Parkland Midland, 27 days. What's this one? Oh, that's just Pierce County overview. Graham Frederickson, like out in that area, 44. And it seems like, and I'm not an expert here. Well, I mean, I have looked at this stuff for a long time, but I will say that it seems like the further out you go from the Tacoma metro area, the longer it's going to take. That's just what I can surmise from looking at this. It might not be that for every area, but I'm just looking at when I go down further south, like Puyallup, South Hill, Spanaway, Graham, Bonnie Lake, Sumner, like those areas. It seems to be longer days on market. That's just what I'm looking at. So let's take a look at something else. Chance of selling. So for you sellers out there, what chance of selling is, it's basically taking the pending divided by the actives, and then that provides us like kind of a chance of selling. Like what's going to be the chances based on what's pending and what's active in your area. So I'm just looking in Pierce County as a whole, and I'm going to look at the heat map again. And just I like this because it's just faster for all of us to look at, and some of y'all like visual things. So similar to what we were just looking at, and I think that you can go by that same trend, which is a chance of selling in Central Tacoma is 76% and 57% in South Tacoma and 85% in University Place. North Tacoma, 50%. Gig Harbor, Fox Island, 39%. And back out to Key Peninsula and Purdy, 34%. So, 11% on Anderson Island. That was interesting. And Lake Tapps, Bonnie Lake, 32% chance of selling. And again, this doesn't mean that it's like, my gosh, I'm never going to sell my home. It's just saying, no, looking at the data, looking at what's active and what's pending, like this is based on that formula, and that's what it's coming up with. 57%, 60% in Puyallup and Edgewood. Sumner, 57%. That's interesting. Parkland and Midland at 64%. I think I want to go down to this areas ranked by chance of selling. You can see this, and you can see that University Place has the top spot, chance of selling at above 55%. 55% is considered like level and balanced. So just for context. So we only have, of the areas around Pierce County right now, the areas that are above the 55% chance of selling like a metric. So you have University Place, Central Tacoma, Parkland Midland, Puyallup Edgewood, Sumner, and Pacific, and then South Tacoma. Those are all above 55%. Outside of that, all of the rest of the areas are below 55%. And those areas are Graham, Spanaway, North Tacoma, Eatonville, South Hill, Lakewood, DuPont, Stillicum, Gig Harbor, Fox Island, Key Peninsula, Purdy, Bonnie Lake, Lake Tapps, Anderson Island. So, I mean, that's an interesting one to look at. I like looking at this one because it just kind of gives us some idea of how long things are sitting and what's going on in the market in those areas. So I think those are important. I can look at, we have Thurston, Kitsap, and Mason County as well. But if you are interested in taking a look at those, then, hit up one of our agents. Hit up one of our agents that are in those areas, or, feel free to email me at davidjones@windermere.com, and I can run you through, or at least just either run these numbers. I can't talk. Run through these numbers for you, or I can get an agent to hook you up with an agent that is in that area and is an expert in that area. So that's just a quick rundown of what's going on in the market in Pierce County, just in and around Pierce County. And if you have more questions, we'll get a little bit more detailed a little bit later. I have a sell to sold, so basically looking at how long homes that have sold and in how many days and what percentage of them sold in those days and all that other kind of stuff. I have that coming up, and I think you're going to want to see that if you are a seller. So stay tuned to the Inside Abode podcast. Next one, we're going to be talking about cybersecurity, and Ann and Troy and Alex, our friends at CW Title and Moreland Insurance. They're going to be talking about cybersecurity. So you don't want to miss that one for sure. That's going to be next weekend or not next weekend. It's going to be this week coming up. It's going to be, I'm just dropping this one as a little one off just to get back in the podcasting rhythm, if you will. And then also to, I think this is valuable information for people that are going into the last part of summer, which typically it slows down. So I feel like we're going to slow down just a little bit. So that gives buyers more room, even more that they already had, to have their choice of homes. But there always is going to be a surge in the fall. So just stay with us. Stay tuned. All right. Y'all be good. Peace.